Hello, thanks for joining along today. Living in the Midwest, you don't have too many grand vistas, no big mountains to photograph. So in the summertime, you have to really look for these smaller compositions, more intimate compositions. So I'm heading back to the pond, photograph the lily pads if they're blooming yet, and see if there's any ducks or anything out on the pond as well. So thanks for joining today. Let's go have a good walk. So these water lilies are just starting to bloom, and I wanted to come out and see if I can photograph these today. So here in Indiana, we've got limited landscape photos that we can get. You know, we don't have the big vistas, we don't have the mountains, don't have the canyons. So in the summertime, you have to find these smaller compositions, a little bit more intimate compositions, I guess, to photograph. So it's definitely a little bit more challenging to get the compositions in there and find the subject and try to get everything composed just right. So it's still a little early. It's an overcast day, which may be beneficial. It'd be nice to get a little bit of light in here, but I'm going to see what I can work with here and get something at least in the memory card and see what it looks like. I'll play around with a few different compositions. So while I was setting up my composition to get these water lilies, we had female wood duck land out in the lily pads themselves. So I'm going to get a few photos of her and get some video of her as well. It's very nice. She's just out there swimming around, getting something to eat, drinking the water. So I only see the female. I've seen a pair here in years gone by, maybe last year it was. I saw both of them out here. Actually, I think they had some chicks out here as well last year. So, but right now, all I see is the female. I'm going to keep an eye on her, try not to disturb her, but if I can see where she goes, if they're nesting around here, so I know I'll come back and get some chicks again. Okay, so the wood duck's flown away for now. See if she comes back. She went towards the other end of the pond. We'll see if she comes back here in a little bit, so I can I'll see if I can get a few more photos of her before the rains move in. I'm trying to compose these water lilies. I can't get too close to them because you see there's these grasses and the water's right there. So I'm going to use my 100 to 400 lens. It looks like I need to get almost all the way to 400. I may back off of it a little bit to get a composition that looks nice. I think this composition, really the thought is it's composition by subtraction. I know what I want to get as the subject. I want that lily in the center. I want some lily pads around it for reference, as well as to add a little bit of interest other than just a flower in the center and nothing else. But there's some sticks and there's some junk in there as well that I want to avoid. So I want to position to eliminate as much of that junk as possible and get a clean image. I do have a circular polarizer on. Sun's, though it's cloudy, you're still getting a little bit of stuff poking through. Sun's directly over here due east. So I'm almost directly at a 90 degree from it, so the polarizer should take out most of that glare. There's a couple different lilies. I'm going to try to frame both of them. One of them is open more than the other, but it isn't pointing towards me as well as the other one is, so I'm going to see how I can compose those and play around with it a little bit. As far as settings, I'm going to do brackets on these. I've got to pay attention to my meter as well as my histogram. I've got to be careful since I've got a white subject and a relatively dark background. Got to make sure I don't overexpose that lily and blow out the highlights on it. So I'm going to bracket, let's see, right now I'm going to shoot this one at f9 1/20, and histogram showing a little underexposed, meter saying I'm right on. So let's see what we get out of this one. I'm going to drop down to a wide open aperture as well. I am shooting down on it a little bit to get over this grass in front. I'm going to do a manual focus on this one too, just to make sure I get it in there. All right, I'll have to get home, get those on the computer, see what that looks like. Though honestly not portfolio worthy images, it's always nice to photograph these smaller compositions. It sure helps the mind's eye and prepares you for the bigger compositions as well. And of course, any day that you can get outside and experience this tranquility and the beauty in nature is a good day. So I hope you enjoyed them. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Well, thanks for joining along today. I think I'm going to head out. Supposed to get some rain in, and I can see the clouds coming in a little bit thicker. So I'm going to go ahead and head home, process these photos, see what I got. The wood duck didn't come back, so I'll leave her alone in case she is nesting. Don't want to stress them out. Thanks for following along today, and have a great day. Don't forget, get outside.